Hello everyone, my name is Rob O'Brien, and I currently have a coaching practice called Core Intention. I call it Core Intention because I believe everything stems from the core, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. Our core is our center, our foundation. And when we are centered and balanced, then everything around us becomes centered and balanced. The intention is very important as well. This is also where things stem from. We create an intention that's something present for us in the moment, and then our outer experience guides us towards meeting and fulfilling that intention. But my intention here is not to define something that is very personal and unique to the individual. Rather, to give you a personal experience from my own life, to give an example of what core intention is all about, and to shed some light on my own inner world and journey. About 4 years ago, my life took a little bit of a turn. I was applying to a psychology program back east in Boston, where I'm from. And then someone notified me about this spiritual psychology graduate program in Santa Monica, California. I was talking with the school and I just felt drawn to it. And things worked out that I got in and I felt called to go. I was also planning on moving out to California. So I packed up my SUV with all my clothes and everything, and I was planning on taking a 2-week excursion across country and pick my way across and experience the countryside and some new places I haven't seen in the United States. My sister, who is also my best friend, had some time off at the time, and I was blessed to share that experience with her as well. Towards the end of our journey, we get to a place called Sedona, Arizona, which is an amazing place to be. It was my first time there. Experiencing energy there was unbelievable. And my sister and I decided that we were going to spoil ourselves a little bit and stay at a nice place towards the end of our trip. So we went into this spa and at the hotel, and she was going to get a massage. I decided I was going to work out, but then the lady said to me, she said, well, we do have this spiritual advisor that gives some readings if you would like that. And at this time I had been very familiar with psychic readings and everything, but I was believing in my own inner answers, and I wasn't looking to go outside for those answers. That's something I truly believe in now as well. So I didn't really know what to make of it, but I just decided I was going to do it. So I walked into this room, and there was a woman sitting there, and she was just kind of looking at me in a way that from my perception said, "Who do you think you are?" So I was kind of taken back, but then I just said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she said, first thing she said to me, "You need to let go of your spiritual ego." And I was already a couple months into my psychology program. I had done a lot of work in my past on my ego and separating my ego from myself, meaning that the ego is edge God out and it creates some irrational beliefs in our life. And when we attach to it, sometimes we attach to something that is outside of ourselves, whether it be seeking approval or seeking validation for something. But I had never heard of spiritual ego. So I said, "What is spiritual ego?" And so she had 3 cards. She drew one and she said, "You have the need to save the world." She drew another and she said, it was a burden card, and she said, "This will always bring you burden. And because it can never be fulfilled," she flips over another card, "it'll always bring you sorrow." So we talked a little bit more, and I left that room and I was kind of in a little bit of a daze. She had brought something into my consciousness or awareness, and I kind of was allowing it to sit and integrate. So much like what I do with myself and my clients in my practice, is that once something comes into our consciousness, then it's in our inner reality, and all of a sudden we start to experience in our outside world things that are going to either allow us to heal this or bring this forward. So, or let go of whatever it is that we're holding on to that isn't serving us anymore. I started having these experiences through the next couple of months where I was looking outside of myself. And how I was doing that was when things got really challenging, I never blamed other people for it, but I would kind of look up and I would say, what do you want from me? You know, almost like I was speaking to, you know, whatever, to me it was God, but it was like speaking outside of myself. What do you want from me? Like someone wants something from me. And I just heard this voice inside that just said, I don't want anything from you. And again, I kind of took like this step back, and I was a little taken back, and I allowed that to integrate too. And I kind of, at first was like, what does that mean? You don't want anything from me. Then what is my purpose? Why am I here? I really felt like I was dying because I felt like I had no more purpose. And then I realized how strong that story I had was. I realized how much this story was playing out in my life and this heaviness that it was putting on me. And so letting go of this story was very difficult because it was something that I was attached to for so long. And I feel like I was getting my self-worth from it. So I almost had to relearn how to be. You know, I adopted that phrase, we're human beings, not human doings. And I realized in my consciousness, whenever I would go into situations or meet people, I'd be like, what is my purpose? What do I need to do? And then I shifted that. So it wasn't necessarily that I was doing different things or being different person, but I wasn't saying that that story wasn't coming out, that I wasn't saying those words to myself. I was just accepting no matter what, even if I don't say a word, if I listen to a story, if I support somebody, if I'm just being there, and not attaching myself to an outcome. It was a huge part of my journey in letting that go, and I experienced so many different experiences after that that just backed up the fact of all I have to do is be. One of the points of my story here is actually letting go of a story. Sometimes these stories that we hold on to we're holding on to them for a reason, and we hold on to them because maybe it's all we know, and maybe it's a story we're reliving, and sometimes in our outer experience, we realize that if we aren't liking what we are having in our outer experience, maybe it's a story that's playing out from childhood or some other time that we adopted in our life. And check in with yourself to see if maybe you are having any stories that you could possibly let go of. Something that is outside of yourself. Are you looking outside of yourself for something? When we all have our own inner resources inside of us. We all have our own inner answers. And so I challenge you to take back your own power, be the powerful being that you are, and you are worthy no matter what. Thank you, everyone.